Hey everybody, welcome to Still Real to Me and Us. You see the owner and CEO there, QB1, with we don't want to know what you do with that, but anyway, he's got a little
That's
toy
what
there.
fat people pick things off the ground with.
Yeah, that's what we're going to go with tonight.
That's what we're going with. Hey,
Well,
look,
absolutely. And of course, one of our newest members, Joseph Hughes, the Rabid Beaver.
Hi guys, how are y'all doing tonight?
Thanks for joining us again tonight. I'm Howard Cheney, the host, and our special guest tonight is Chris Cross of Warpath Pro. Chris, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, thank you.
Tell us a little bit of Warpath, though. Go ahead, Randy.
to say Warpath, the beautiful downtown Pikeville, Tennessee.
That's right. Warpath in Pikeville, Tennessee.
So go ahead. Sorry.
So Chris Cross of Warpath Pro from beautiful downtown Pikeville, Tennessee. Chris, tell us a little bit about Warpath. How did you get involved with it?
All righty. So I've wrestled for over probably 15 years. I got out of wrestling and ring wrestling myself probably for about 3 to 4 years. And then I was approached about an opportunity to start Warpath in Pikeville. The previous show that was running had left and was no longer running in Pikeville. I'm originally from Dunlap, and I live in Dunlap, Tennessee. So I said, why not? It's only a 15, 20-minute drive for me. And I wanted to grow something. I wanted to grow something big. And that was the biggest thing was, I've tried helping at other promotions as far as, giving different ideas and stuff that would help grow as far as promoting the show, I would say. And a lot of the times nothing ever came about anything that I was wanting to do. I guess just because it wasn't my show or I was just a helper really. So now that, I am one of the main entries of the Warpath of person, I do have 2 other business partners that help me as well. And, they'll do anything that needs to get done to make the show successful up there in Pikeville. We started our actual show in December is when we got notified that the other organization had left. So we wanted to run and just say, hey, take a look at what we can bring to you. We did 1 show in December, and then we took Christmas off and let everybody enjoy the holiday and the New Year. And then we have came back since and have ran the first, second, and third Saturday of every month since January.
You want to let us know who your partners are? Or are they silent partners and don't want to be known? How does that work out?
So Daniel Smith, he actually he goes by the wrestling name is Gunnar Daniels. He's one of them, and then Dustin Johns, and he goes by that as well in Crossville at Resolute Wrestling in Crossville, Tennessee. Two great guys that will, like I said, they'll do whatever we have to do to be successful. And that's even if it's changing them. Like a lot of the times, and this is a funny story, but a lot of the times coming in, Daniel was the one he was the pleaser. He was the one that didn't want to say no. Everything was a yes. Like, hey, can I come in and wrestle? And everything was a yes. But, through these times, through the, months that we've been running now, he will admit too that, it's changed him a lot. Like he's looked at it at a different view and he's seen it a different way of how to be successful and professional when you're doing it. Because you can have a wrestling show, but can you do it professionally? Can you do it as a business? Because it is, to me, it's a business. It's fun, it's entertaining, and my job is to make sure that I entertain every crowd, every person that sits in those chairs. So, I take it seriously as a business, but yet I still have fun with it. So, it's taken a lot to build it. Hence the reason why we haven't had any titles for the last 6 to 7 months now. And the way I looked at it then was, I don't think you needed any titles. You're building character. you're getting people out there and getting the fans to know who you have working for you at Warpath. So and until they know those characters and know who they're watching, there's no sense in bringing titles and involved in anything. I didn't think. So we wrestled for, like I said, 6-7 months, no titles, and then now this coming Saturday, starting in August, we start our 16-man heavyweight championship tournament, which we will crown the first Warpath champion on September 13th. Will be the final match.
Awesome. Well, I want to turn you over to your fellow Sequatchie County supporter, QB1.
Hey, I might have some Sequatchie County blood in me. Matter of fact, I might have been at Huebner an hour and a half ago, but I'm not there. But I was going to ask you a question. Now, I've done media in the Valley, I've done radio in the Valley. It's a unique market. Do you only draw from Pikeville mainly, or do you draw from Dunlap and down the Valley?
We actually draw from Dunlap. We're working with Pikeville community right now. Pikeville just didn't have anything going in. So Pikeville didn't have a skating ring. They didn't have anything to do. There's really nothing to do in Pikeville. Unless you're raising cattle or you're part of the county fair stuff that goes on and stuff like that. So a majority of our crowd does follow us up from Dunlap just because they know me, they know of the show, because obviously I've previously helped other organizations in the Dunlap area run, wrestling as well. But like now we're starting to work with Pikeville, with the community, and getting more involved. Like this upcoming school year, we're going to be more involved with the Pikeville schools to where we can actually, go further and introduce what we do there every Saturday on the first, second, and third Saturday of every month to people who don't even know. Like 5 or 6 years ago, you could go down there and go to the gas station and you could say, hey, I'm needing to go to this wrestling event in Pikeville. And there was wrestling there for over 8 years in Pikeville that ran continuously on Saturdays. And you could go there 5 years ago and say, hey, I'm late for a wrestling event. Do you know where I need to go? And nobody even knew there was a wrestling show. I mean, and to me, that was community involvement. That means they're putting up flyers and they're saying, hey, we have a wrestling show. But I think you got to go above and beyond that. You have to be involved with the community. You got to be involved with the Chamber of Commerce. You got to be involved with local businesses, mom and pop stores, people who are born and raised there in Pikeville, to be able to grow a successful show in a town. And then community involvement with the school system. And that's what we're looking to do in August.
And you make a point. I do work in Dunlap. I live in Chattanooga. I'm the opposite of 90% of the population of Dunlap who lives in Dunlap and works in Chattanooga. But with 111 access to Chattanooga, or for 24 for that end of the valley, there's a lot of access to the bigger cities. Pikeville sits in a gap where there's really not a good way to get to Pikeville directly. And it's kind of over by itself. It does offer some challenges when you want to draw a crowd not from Pikeville. It does. The access to the city is a little tough.
Right.
Do you think that reaching out, and I know you had plans to go down to some stuff at Dunlap and got rained out, because I was actually going to go to that.
Right.
Do you think kind of reaching down the valley, because I don't know that there's another show down the valley is open for you?
Yeah, we're actually fixing. I'm kind of glad that you mentioned that, because that's another future thing that's happening with Warpath. Is we're actually looking to work with the Dunlap City Mayor, Dwayne Land, to possibly doing something with in Dunlap to be able to bring it, to Dunlap as well. But I just want it really. There's not really a show in Dunlap, and I understand that, but my goal was to bring it into Pikeville, because Dunlap has some things you can do here.
Yeah.
In Dunlap, Pikeville had nothing. And not only that, but you're in the middle of it all. You have You have McMinnville towards your left. You have Crossville up north. You have Dayton and Ray County and all of them on your right hand side, and then you have Dunlap and Sequatchie and Marion County down south. So I mean, you're kind of in the mix of it all. If you can reach out to those other counties and work with it, I mean, you're golden.
Hey boys, if I know Chris knows him. Y'all just heard the name Dwayne Land. If you know Dwayne Land, you know that's a legend. That I rode in a car with him and survived. That's all I'm going to say. And it was a police car going 110 miles an hour. I wasn't being arrested currently, but we were taking parts to an airport. So, hey, Chris, and hey, another wrestling celebrity, and I know you've done some work with them, is located in Dunlap, and I know you know who I'm talking about, Mr. Bobby Slam.
Bobby Slam.
Dunlapian, and I live in Chattanooga, but I think I'm an honorary Dunlapian. Bobby Slam been wrestling with a cause. That's been something that I've heard that y'all have reached out and you're going to do something with Wrestling for the Cause sometime this fall.
Yeah, we're actually going to be involved with Wrestling for a Cause with William and Alan and of course Bobby Slam.
The legend Bobby Slam.
The legend Bobby Slam, and it's a funny story. And I don't know if he'll which personality of Bobby Slam is going to be honest, but if you ask Bobby Slam who brought Bobby Slam even into commentary for any kind of wrestling show, he should mention my name, just because him and a good friend named Adam, they came in and was trying to help all these local events. He's a huge wrestling fan. Everybody knows Bobby. And so with that being said, I'm a really good friend with Bobby. And matter of fact, not to throw out, my shoot job stuff information, but he was actually one of my bosses when I worked for the Rent-A-Center at one point over in Dayton. He was my boss when he was the manager at Rent-A-Center. So I'm very familiar with Bobby, and I can't wait to be a part of, the Wrestling for a Cause. I mean, we invited Wrestling for a Cause up to watch one of our shows already. They were amazed with the high flying action that we do have, with the talent that we do. And they're, as far as I know, they're excited for us to do a super show maybe in October. And mentioning Dunlap, that is something that we were going to do, was reach out to Dwayne and see if we can raise some money for the Wrestling for a Cause and do a show right there in Harris Park here in Dunlap, and draw a good crowd and raise the money, pass the bucket, and raise the money for Wrestling for a Cause.
I'm going to pass the questioning over to the one guy that don't love Body Slam. We have one hater here that can't get past of it. One person don't even like Dollar Bill. Arab Beaver, go ahead.
Joseph, before you get started, let me ask Chris something real quick. He mentioned on the school system.
Yeah.
Have you thought about doing something with the schools as far as saying if the kids come in, they get a discounted price or something like that, or if they brought their report card in and they had all A's, and maybe you get to do something ringside or something like that?
So a business standpoint, like I said, I'm all business. I really am. I have fun, but I'm still business, because if you're running a business, I think it should be successfully ran. The thing I'm doing with the school, and anybody who's watching who runs their own wrestling event, take this and run with it. I would be happy to share it. I'm going to the schools and I'm going to hand out a free ticket to every elementary school kid. That's how I'm going to start out. I'm going to start out by going to all the elementary schools in Pikeville and hand out a free ticket to see. Now, this is just to see how things are going to work from the beginning. But I'm going to hand out a free ticket in return of those free tickets for every adult that brings that kid to the show, because someone has to. They can't drive, but someone has to bring them. For every ticket that is turned in that shows up from the elementary school, the adult will only have to pay, because our ticket price is $8 to get in. So the adult would only have to pay $5 to get in. And then every ticket that we collect that came from the tickets we passed out to all the schools is a $3 amount. So for every ticket that we get from the schools, where it's Wheeler Elementary, because Wheeler is on top of the mountain in Pikeville, and then you have Pikeville Elementary School. So for every ticket that's stamped with their school on it, we're giving back to the school as well. So not only does the kids get in for free with their parent bringing them or someone bringing them to the show, and the adults getting a $5 price instead of an $8 price, give back to the school for every ticket adds up to $3. We add those up, and at the end of the night, all that money I'm going to give right back to the elementary school. And I understand they have grants. Schools have grants. They have ways of getting money, and I'm sure they're not hurting for money, but that's not the point. The point is to give back. The point is to be involved, advertise what you're throwing out at them, promote your show, and then once you promote your show, they'll know you're there, and then you'll have the support from your school system. And then they can use the $3 per ticket that we're giving back to the school for whatever they may want to use it for. PE equipment, a new swing set or something, whatever we add up to give back to the school, we'll give it back to them.
Awesome. Sounds great. Sorry, Joseph, didn't mean to cut into your time. Go ahead.
No, it's absolutely. You actually took the question right from me, and that was one of the things I was going to ask. The other thing is, Chris, I know that during Christmas time, it's always a big time, especially in Tennessee with all the parades. Have you thought about advertising with one of the parades, getting yourself out there, getting your name out there? Because the more that's free advertisement with a float. You just have to create the float. But the more advertising you have, that draws more customers, because some people don't even know, like you said earlier, that wrestling is even in the area in Pikeville, and we want to get you as many customers as possible. And I know that that's one of the best ways to do it.
Yeah, so we were actually in the 4th of July parade here in Dunlap now, and it's not a downfall because that can be fixed. Pikeville doesn't do any kind of parading. I haven't seen a lot of parades that go through Pikeville. I see a lot of events, like outside events, which that's another thing. We're going to try getting involved with other events up in Pikeville, considering that's where we run our show. But we had a float in the 4th of July parade here in Dunlap. We went through it, and then we already have a crew that is working on the Christmas parade float, because it's a night parade in Dunlap, and we're going to go through the Christmas parade as well with Warpath.
Awesome.
So those are already in works.
Awesome. And then we've got to talk about it. You mentioned it a little bit earlier. You're going to be having the first time ever a heavyweight championship tournament that's going to be coming up. And I believe that you told me privately that the first 4 matches are going to be taking place this Saturday. Is that correct?
That is correct. The first 4 matches are this Saturday. We do have, Howie, you mentioned that you were from down in Alabama. I don't know how much you follow with the wrestling organizations, but we have a gentleman named Rome Senju, who is from down in Alabama, and he will be making his appearance at Warpath for the first time in our heavyweight tournament, and that'll happen this Saturday in the first round. We have people coming in from everywhere. I mean, we have people coming from the Cleveland area. From where you're from, Joseph, we have a guy named Hairband that'll be there. Hairband was coming in. He'll be a part of the first round. Dallas Troy from Resolute Wrestling. And then, of course, Thomas Cage, one of our big stars at Warpath right now, Chris Hensley, will be there, as well as Knuckles Bagata. He's been around at several other shows as well, down in Dunlap and a few other places. So I mean, we have tons of people that are coming in from out of the area, especially to be a part of this heavyweight tournament.
Oh,
and
but Chris, you have forgot to mention the most important name on this list. The California Dream himself, Jackson Black, will be in this tournament. Is that not correct?
That is correct. Jackson Black will be in this tournament. He'll actually be going against the brackets already made. So he will be going against Thomas Cage. Thomas Cage is from Resolute Wrestling as well, up north. So he will have his hands full with, Thomas Cage. But yeah, it's going to be huge. I mean, the fans are going to fill in. And like I said, we're going to do 4 matches because there's 16 men in this tournament. We'll do the 4 matches on the 2nd, and then on August the 9th, we'll do 4 more matches, which will bring us down to August 16th, to where we will have the next round, the 2nd round of the tournament. And once again, we'll eventually make it to September 13th, where we will crown our first Warpath heavyweight champion.
And no disrespect to anybody in this tournament, but I'm going to call it right now. You can't bet against Black. I believe Jackson Black will be the man that ends up with that title in his hands.
Could be.
Very well, could we? Now, you mentioned earlier that you're running 3 Saturdays too. So for each Saturday, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Saturday of the month, you're going to be hosting this tournament all across the board. So each week, guys, you have an opportunity to see the advancement of new members in this tournament, and you get the chance to see a brand new champion crowned at Warpath Professional Wrestling. And once again, that's going to be at 97 Brewster's Place in Pikeville, Tennessee. It's the place where you guys want to be. Now, Chris, there's so much that goes on there. You spoke about the early days with the other promotion that was there, the TWA that was there. You spoke about Bobby Slam working for you at one point in time in the past and getting his started in the business. And you spoke a little bit about how you got started in the business. But let's talk about what happened while you were in the business wrestling. So you have a great pedigree behind you, and you also had great training behind you. So let's get into that a little bit. Who trained you, and how'd you get back in it?
Alrighty, so there's a gentleman named Mass Destroyer. Mass Destroyer, he's from the Georgia area, and him and a guy named Paul Dollar, who used to wrestle back in the day, were the two that actually trained me. I went based off of getting it when I first got in the ring. I went with, if you can't do what you're asking me to do, then how do you expect me to do it? And I mean, because I mean, I'm not saying I'm a skinny guy. I'm 280 pounds. So like for me to do all the stuff that they want me to do, and I mean, and it's rough. I mean, it's rough when you first get into a ring and you're trying to train. And some people take it as, you know, it's old school training. So they think, okay, well, we'll just bump him to death. Or we'll do this and we'll do that and we'll slam his head into the turnbuckle and show him how it really feels. And I would do those things, but mostly it was ring awareness. It was, you know, roll from corner to corner, all 4 corners, and then walk to the center of the ring and look out into the crowd like you're trying to look at somebody specific in the crowd. And that was hard to do when I first started. The reason being is because the ring awareness, you don't realize how dizzy you're getting in that ring with moving around in that ring so quickly. And when you stand up and look out into the crowd, it's a different picture when you're looking out into the crowd and you're not used to that kind of material that you're doing in the ring. So, but no, I did wrestling for, like I said, for 15 years. And I mean, I do miss it. I've had matches with Crimson from TNA, been in the ring with him, Ricky Morton. I mean, there's so many names that can be mentioned. And like, it's unbelievable now sitting back. I have the idea that if you're going to wrestle, then you need to wrestle. If you're going to own a show and run a show, then you don't need to wrestle. You need to run your show because that's what you chose to do. And some people may not feel that way. Some people feel like if they run a show that they can still be a part of the show and still wrestle. But to me, I can't see what goes on in the back, and I can't see what goes on with my crowd if I'm worried about what I'm going to do in my match next.
Well, it causes a lot of problems. I think that's why Dusty stepped out of the limelight for a short period of time. Whenever he got the executive position with Turner Industries, he stepped out of that limelight and he started working on the executive level because he knew that if he stayed where he was and if he stayed in front of the crowd where he was, the show was going to be in the dumps because he could only see what he could see from the front and he couldn't control what he could control in the back and keep people at bay in the back. I think that that's what made his show a little bit of a better show. And no disrespect to anybody who's running their show that way or doing it that way at all. But I do believe that there is something that you said right there that's very important for those that are watching that do have their own promotion, that do have their own industry. You need to make sure that you're an accelerant in one or the other. If you try to do too many things, you try to wear too many hats, you're going to lose sight of what's important and what will make you money and what will keep you making money. It's one of the reasons why the Jarretts did so well, is because Jerry had the opportunity to step away and say, no, this is personal now, and we're going to make it personal, and personal problems make money. They're going to make money for us if we keep it personal like this. And it's one of the best ways to make money in the wrestling business. And like you said, step away, pull yourself into a different level, and you will excel in that level as long as you want to be there. So kudos to you for figuring that out really early in this and doing it with your partners as well. The other thing is I know you've got partners. You mentioned it earlier. You had 2 other partners with you. Is it like pulling teeth sometimes to get what needs to be done across, or are you guys kind of on the same page all the time, or do you just have to kind of wait until the ideas float around to see what's going to work?
So we talk almost daily. I know one of them I do talk to on a daily. Dustin, he stays really busy with his actual job that he does on the outside of helping with wrestling and wrestling up at Resolute in Crossville. So I mean, but no, I mean we communicate well. Like, I mean, if we have things we need to talk about, I mean we'll get on the phone, we'll discuss it. We talk at the show. The important thing is, that was my biggest thing going into this, was communications. A lot of the times guys will show up, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing in their match. They don't know anything what's supposed to happen. But if it's communicated right and properly, then all they have to do is go out there and entertain. So they don't have to worry about, well, what about this? What about this? Or, they don't have to come to me and say, hey, Chris, what about this situation? What if this happens? Because I've already set it up for them. I made their job easier by communicating with my team, with Daniel and with Dustin. And of course, Dustin helps tremendously on that end as well, as far as when it comes to stories and, who to put in what matches and, to who, what do the fans want, the most. So, I mean, and that's where his part of the business falls in as a plus, is having the knowledge that Dustin has about creating that kind of image for the fans. So a lot of it looks like there's a lot on my plate, but I mean, most of it is kind of just, I mean, we just kind of rub off of each other. We're just kind of, we're one unity, and that's what makes us successful. And like that's what I was pointing out earlier with Daniel. He's he was a yes man. He was one of those that just like, can I do this? Can I do that? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, can I go? Yeah, go ahead, do it. I mean, and you can't always have that. You always have to have somebody who has control that will be able to say no. That was like, hey, I'm not saying it's a no for good, but I'm saying right now it's not the proper time to do what you're wanting to do. So, I mean, you got to have standards, and that's something that Warpath does. That's one thing that I do want to point out too, is with Warpath, when you walk through that locker room, no matter what show you've been to, no matter what drama you may have, because like you mentioned earlier, there is drama. And no matter what happens, when you walk through that locker room, you're there to entertain the crowd at Warpath. That's the one thing that should be on your mind. It shouldn't be about, well, I don't want to wrestle this guy, or I don't want to be in a locker room with this guy because, we had beef back in the day or 6 weeks ago or something like that. That stuff is out the door when it comes to Warpath. You walk through the door, you shake everyone's hand, and you go out there and entertain the Warpath crowd. That's what's going to keep Warpath growing, and that's what's going to keep the fans coming to see Warpath.
Harley used to pull people completely aside and say, look, I know you had problems in the past with yada, 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 over yada, yada, yada. And here, we're not going to have any of that. If I have any of that, you'll never work for us again. And he laid it on the line. He put it out there for people so that they could understand. He said, your problems, they persist out there. They don't persist in here. And he would the first speech he gave all of us was, you're a professional wrestler first. Professional is the first word in that. You've got to be professional with everybody you step in the ring with. Doesn't matter if you hate them, you love them, you don't know them from Adam. You be professional with them, and you take care of them. That was rule number 2. Take care of whoever you step in the ring with. No matter what's going on, no matter what happens in any situation, you take care of that person. If an accident happens and it didn't mean to happen, you take them to the hospital. You stand by their side. You make sure that they're taken care of when nobody else will. And that will never leave me. And it's one of the biggest impact memories that I have is because, we had a gentleman who broke his neck. He broke his neck right in the center of the ring. And you know who the first person was to make sure that he was taken care of? The gentleman that was in the ring with him. He made sure that he drove him to the hospital. He made sure that he rode in the ambulance with him to the hospital. He made sure that he was taken care of. He tried to take care of whatever dealings he had. And that was the biggest thing that was instilled in us. So I'm very glad to see that you all have grown as a business standpoint and as a platform to be in that professional realm. That separates you guys so far from a lot of your competition that you don't even know. There's a lot of people that are inside the Tennessee area. Tennessee is non-commissioned, just like everybody says. Anybody with a ring and a half of a wit of a brain can throw up a match anywhere and throw the ring up and try to promote and produce and do everything to try to get it out there. But what happens is you end up having a lot of problems. And you know this just like I do from being in the industry. You end up having a lot of problems with a lot of people because of egos and because of their personal issues and because of different things that are happening behind the scenes that they don't communicate properly. If you communicate properly with everybody, you don't have problems with anybody. And that's it, is you got to take it to the source, nip it in the butt and get it out of there. The second thing that you said in this was that your people that you work with, you've made it easy on them because they know what they're going to do and all they have to do is go out and entertain. That's a huge part of the entertainment industry that a lot of people don't understand. There's a lot of things that happen behind closed doors and behind the scenes where you're writing a script or you're writing the matches out, how you want X, Y, and Z to go during the matches. Well, if you make it to say yada, yada, yada versus yada, 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 now you two go entertain and you work it out and you all do this. If you're professional, you can have a killer match because you all can get chemistry. You can learn how to listen to the crowd. You can learn how to listen for the key changes inside the atmosphere, and you can make a hell of a match go on. So I give you kudos on that too. That's something that you don't see in a lot of places, and it's not really taught hardly anymore. Macho Man Randy Savage. I said this the other day when we were on one of the other podcasts that we did here at River City Media. But Macho Man Randy Savage was in the ring with Diamond Dallas Page, and I was speaking to Dally about it, and Dallas told me that, right before he had his big match with him, he said, "You're going to listen to everything I say and you're going to do it." And he said, "Yes, sir. I'm all ears." And he said that he had just knocked him completely down on his butt. Dally's on the ground and he picks him up by the head of his hair and he tells him, "Diamond cutter right now, diamond cutter." And he looked at him like he's crazy and he said, "Diamond cutter." And he hit him with the diamond cutter and the crowd went completely nuts. They lost it. He was listening for the atmosphere, what was going on in the crowd, and he knew that it was going to change immediately when he hit that move. And I think that that's really a lost art inside of our business now, is because a lot of people are wanting to entertain, but they're wanting to entertain through 300 high-flying moves and 400 pile drivers and 5 low blows. They don't get that it only takes one move to change the entire atmosphere of a complete show to make it more memorable for everybody inside the show. So kudos to you guys. Right. I'm going to turn it right back over. Whoever wants it, y'all take it.
Go ahead, Randy. I know you had something to say a little bit earlier.
I was just saying that, and you can go with it, but Knuckles has done clowned at himself the Warpath heavyweight champion. And I don't know where Knuckles is in that top 16, but looks like Knuckles got a problem with everybody there, Chris.
Yeah. So I'm seeing some of the comments come in. And so Knuckles is actually not in our 16-man tournament as of now, but there are 2 spots available on the back half starting on August 9th. I do have 2 spots available. He's got issues with a group called Outlaw Society. And it's ran by Outlaw 2, Bundy, and Austin Tyler. And it's him and Bart Maverick are the 2 guys that have issues with Outlaw Society. They attack his partner. Knuckles feels like, what's fair is fair. I mean, if you followed the Warpath page, he cut a promo about that. I feel what's fair is fair. And so, I mean, he does have a point, but there has to be something settled between Bundy and Knuckles. There has to be something settled. And who knows? I mean, like I said, there are 2 spots available. So anything can happen at Warpath.
Howie, I'll let you go ahead. I'm just watching these comments, and right now, Knuckles is talking some good sense. That's all I'm going to say.
Knuckles is saying a lot of stuff, and he's also got a partner on here, Brick Waller, that's also kind of seconding everything that he's saying.
Well, I'm
But-
going to third it then, okay? I mean, I'm a Knuckles fan.
Knuckles is making as much sense as freaking Dollar Bill and that no good snake in the grass Bobby Slam on a Tuesday night, drunk as a skunk in the field. Knuckles
Right.
isn't going to win nothing, and he knows it.
Joseph, could you tell us how you really feel about it, buddy?
I'll tell you more about it. Bobby Slam can go suck an egg. He's an egg-sucking dog in my book.
Hate going on. Howie.
Got a comment here. From the Classic Villain. Chris Cross was always a cool guy. He was always helpful to me.
That's a good compliment.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's been a lot of people that have went through this business that I've worked with, wrestled, whatever it may be. And it's a good feeling walking in knowing that you're going the right direction, but just because you're not in the ring doesn't mean that you're not going to succeed. And that's the way I look at it is, I mean, I'm ready to succeed and grow. And not only just for us as a Warpath organization, but for the talent that works for Warpath as well. There's so many talented people in that ring that could go other places and extend their belief of what they can do in a ring at other shows and go entertain other crowds.
Oh, sorry, Joseph getting in a battle of words here with Knuckles and everybody else.
Joseph is our heel.
Joseph.
Chris, during this tournament, you know, there's a lot of personalities in having a tournament this size. Is managing those personalities as tough as managing the tournament?
Yes, because they all believe they're the guy. They all believe that they should be in the top spot. They should be the spotlight. And I mean, and I'm not denying it. They wouldn't have a spot in the 16 man if they weren't capable of doing that. But at the same time, there can only be one person holding the title at the end of the day. So, I mean, they're going to have to entertain that crowd. And, you know, if they have buddies and partners that are in this thing, you know, which they do. I mean, Dallas Troy's one. He's part of a little faction or connection that you want to call with, you know, Gunnar Daniels, Thomas Cage. You know, they have their own little group, and they have been raising all kind of cane at Warpath. They've been, you know, doing their, sorry, Joseph, since you are a heel, I mean, they're calling you a heel. They're doing some dirty stuff. They're doing some things just to get the win. They're doing whatever it takes to get the win, and they'll tell you that too. We do just what we have to do to get the win. Notorious Nate, he's the manager of that faction, and he's just now getting started as a manager. He came from the referee business. He was refereeing all over in Dunlap, refereeing in Pikeville when TWA was there. I mean, and another thing that I will mention is Notorious Nate is my son. So seeing him wanting to back the heels in this business and back them with their decisions to cheat to win or to do whatever they have to do to win. Let's just back that up because, you know, they're going to start on commenting on here talking about, well, we don't cheat. We do what's needed. And that's what they'll tell you. But everybody knows that watches wrestling. If you remember Jim Cornette, if you remember, you know, Jimmy Hart, they say they do whatever it takes to win, but we all know what they do when it comes to take the win.
They win. That's what they do. They put it all on the line and they win. They win with anything and everything that's inside of them, and you know it.
Joseph, are you a heel or are you just telling it like it is?
Telling it like it is, baby.
Randy, what you got for the man?
I don't know if I could follow Joseph. That's kind of like following the heat, you know. And we have seen Joseph in his wrestling gear too, so you never know. Hey, Chris, I do want to talk a little bit about the community and how much Warpath can mean to Pikeville. And you've said it a couple of times, and I want to iterate. I want to say it again too. Not that word I couldn't say. Not a lot of things in Pikeville, Tennessee. Not a lot of things for young people to do in Pikeville, Tennessee. There is worse things on a Saturday night than going down to the wrestling show and watching the show. Do you feel like you're giving something for the kids too to keep them out of trouble? Because there's just not a lot going on right now in Pikeville.
Right, and that was the biggest thing too, was community involvement. Like I said earlier, if they don't know that there's a wrestling show there and you're not involved with the community, then you're not going to have a crowd. The only way you're going to have a crowd and grow a show and let people know you're there is by getting involved with the community. So if that takes me going out on a Saturday and spending the day in Pikeville at one of their festivals just to meet and say hi to people and tell them who I am, where I'm from. You know, I'm right down the road in Dunlap, but, you know, I choose to come here. I mean, there was a wrestling show in my backyard at the old middle school here in Dunlap. That's where they used to run all the wrestling shows and wrestling events. I literally live on the road that takes you to the nursing home, and I'm not afraid to tell everybody where I live. But besides that, there was a wrestling show in the gym behind me, and I would still drive to Pikeville, Tennessee for wrestling shows. But yet there was still a show behind me. So community involvement is a big thing with me. And I'm seeing it's starting to grow tremendously. A shout out to Michelle Collier Realty Company. They're one of our sponsors. Citizens Tri-County Bank in Pikeville is one of our sponsors as well. And I forgot to mention this, and I know we're probably running out of time slowly, but we're actually going to TV 18. We will be on TV 18 locally in Bledsoe and in Sequatchie County through Bledsoe Cable. So we will be on the local channels. Now, that is all being taped right now. So all of our shows are being taped so we can kind of keep our stories going for the TV production. But I will let everyone know the reason I'm going about that is not just to brag and say, hey, we're on TV, because some promoters do that. They think, okay, well, we have TV. Okay, well, whoop-de-doo. I mean, you can watch Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. They have TV too, and they're more popular. But it's not the point of doing that. It's the point of there's a lot of senior citizens that live in Pikeville. Yeah. There's a lot of senior citizens that live in Dunlap, Tennessee, that cannot get out of the house, that cannot go to those wrestling events. And that's me not being selfish, thinking, oh, well, I need everybody paying fans to come see our show. Yes, we want to see our fans. We want to have a packed house every single show. But I also want to give to the community as well by putting our sports and our entertainment from wrestling on a TV show to where the senior citizens that can't physically get out of their house can actually go and be a part of, Warpath.
And having worked with TV 18 for years to produce high school football in the Valley and many Bledsoe, Sequatchie Gang, great people at Bledsoe Telephone Co-op. They'll be great partners for stuff. Are really good people. Before I let Joseph go on his next rant, which is coming, you never know. You never can tell when Joseph might go off on a rant. How important is it for Chris Cross, the promoter, to have that right guy when these 16 are done in front of that crowd to represent Warpath, to have that title belt on him? How important do you think setting back and looking at that is that to your promotion?
It means everything to me. I mean, it's just, it's gotta work. It's gotta work for everyone. And I'm supportive to everybody. Hill, baby, it doesn't matter. It's Warpath. We're bringing the entertainment, and I'm so excited. August, we're ready to roll with the 16-man, and it's anybody's game. So
that's awesome. Joseph?
Chris, Chris, my question is, how do you feel about talking about the founder of River City Media being old and everything? Talking about the elderly that couldn't get out.
Well, I mean, he are you talking about QB1?
I've earned this grade. I'm going to tell you. I've earned it.
He's the oldest one on the show.
Well, I mean,
The
he
oldest,
still gets you still get around though. That's the thing. You still get around. You're not in the house. Well, I mean, you're in the house right now, but
I got TV 18 if I want to watch Warpath. So there. Yeah.
He's got plenty of Geritol and diapers too.
I do got some of those. So I ain't got no black wrestling trunks. That's all I'm gonna say.
Joseph, I want to pull up a picture that you sent us earlier, and let's go through some of that stuff, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. All right, so right here we've got Warpath Professional Pro Wrestling's Facebook page where you can catch them directly at, and you can go to facebook.com/profile equals 615-6836-7310228 or Warpath Professional Pro Wrestling Direct. And you can pull it up directly right here, and you can see all of the action that's going on. Now, last week, Chris, you had something take place that was very special. You had a loser leave town ladder match between Chris Hensley and Cameron Cox. What happened there? Let us know about it.
they battled it out. They battled it out for several weeks, and once again, you know, they won. I mean, they went back and forth, but in the end, Cameron Cox did lose that match. Hensley did climb the ladder, and he did get the contract to keep his job there at Warpath and to continue to be the crowd pleaser for Warpath Pro Wrestling. So, I mean, I wish Cameron luck. I mean, he is going to another promotion, and I will let everyone you know follow Cameron Cox if you follow him and find out where he may be going. But he chose to abide by that stipulation that between him and Hensley, somebody was leaving Warpath, and you know he drew the short straw.
Chris, was it Camtastic?
Well, not to him, it wasn't. To him, it wasn't fantastic. To him, everyone hollered. So Hensley comes out. I mean, and everybody has their own little song that they come out to. Everybody has their own little theme music that they come out to. Hensley is just, I'm just going to say he's weird. I mean, he's a weird guy, but he'll come out and dance with the fans to the NSYNC song, Bye, Bye, Bye. And that was his last words to Cameron Cox was bye, bye, bye. And Cameron went out the curtain with his head held down. So.
And then as we've got here this Saturday, August 7th, you're hosting Justified right there at 97 Brewster's Place in Pikeville, Tennessee. For those that want to come out, it's $8 for tickets. Come on out and be a part of the show. Tell us a little bit about what's going on there. Now, you mentioned Rome's going to be coming in there. Jackson Black is going to be there, but who else is going to be there? I see Bundy's down here.
And if you don't know who Knuckles is the guy dead center. He is dead center at the bottom. That is Knuckles Brigada. And he's and his buddy and his pal, who's been his tag partner going through the Outlaw Society, is right next to him. That's Bart Maverick. And then right beside Bart in the mask, you're going to see Frankie Swamp Tower. He's a fan favorite as well. And then toward your left of Knuckles, his enemy and rival, that is Bundy from the Outlaw Society. And of course, Dallas Troy. Dallas Troy is a very popular heel, I should say, up in the Crossville Resolute Wrestling area. But yeah, Rome Senju is making his debut. He's making his debut. And if you follow the Warpath page, you'll see every single one of them have been posting their goal in this 16-man tournament. They have all posted on it somehow, some way. Hensley's posted, Senju's posted, Hairband's posted, Jackson Black obviously posted. He's letting you know that you cannot count on him not winning that title because
you can't bet against the Black, baby.
Yeah, he said you can't bet against Black. Dallas Troy posted, and obviously Knuckles is well spoken. So.
And then finally, let's talk about your partnership that's been going on. It's something brand new with AIWF. Let me pull it back up. It walked out on me. But right here, AIWF. So what's the new partnership like with them? And are you looking for many successful years to come?
Yes, most definitely. The actual executive director of AIWF, Matt Classic, actually, we've been speaking over the phone, and he offered a business opportunity to be a part of the board and to come on with AIWF. And of course, immediately the reaction that I was seeing was, Warpath, AIWF, they were posting our matches on there, and I was like, wow, like, I mean, who would not want to be involved with someone who's like globally, out there? And we much appreciate that opportunity to be a part of AIWF. And I'm excited. There's more to come. The AIWF Women's Champion has actually reached out to us, and she's wanting to come in December here in Pikeville, and she's wanting to come and defend her AIWF Women's Championship in Pikeville.
And Chris, that's a huge partnership between you guys. Huge for several reasons. For one, they are a huge organization that reaches out all across the United States. They have almost 13 different states that are available in the AIWF. And you have wrestlers from all of those states that will be competing in Pikeville, Tennessee now, because you all have joined that and been a part of that board and given the business opportunity that you've been given. So that's something that's going to be great for you guys in the future. And we're looking for huge things out of Warpath Professional Wrestling.
Like I said, it's getting involved and getting out there. The biggest thing and the advice that I will give if you're just starting running a promotion, and I've just been around. I can't say that I've been around as running a show like everyone else has, but the advice that I would give for sure is get out and be involved. Get involved as much as you can with anything that you can, because that only helps you promote your guys. It's about the guys. It's about the people that are out there entertaining the crowd. It's not all about the show itself as much. It's all about promoting the show.
Absolutely. I'm going to turn it back over to the Howie Cheney. How you got anything else?
The lights went out in Tennessee there, Randy. What happened?
I don't know. My ring light's out. Hey, before you go on, me and Knuckles could tear a buffet up.
That'd be the only thing you could tear up.
Hey, look it now. And Bobby Slam's welcome too. There you go.
What type of buffet would you take him to, Orion's?
Knuckles could tear a Golden Corral from ear to ear. Matter of fact, if he lets Knuckles in the tournament, talking Chris,
I'll tell you what.
Appearance from River City Media at a Warpath show.
I'll tell you what. If he could tear Bees up, you might have my money.
Me and Bees are really acquainted, and I bet you Knuckles could eat some bees too. So,
shout out
Knuckles may not even know what Bees is, to be honest, but Knuckles, I do, because I graduated from Lookout Valley High School in Chattanooga. So Bees and their round table is an important part of my meal when I was younger.
Guys, we got the answer from Knuckles.
Me and Knuckles, Bees, 16-man tournament. That's all I'm saying.
Knock out the round table there, baby.
That's a round
Lazy
table,
Susan
right.
would not know what hit it.
Knuckles looked like he's about 3 bills. I'm 340 bills. We can eat. Go ahead, Howie. I'm eating in my head right now.
Let's see. Oh, Knuckles says he knows what bees is. I love bees.
There's a man. I mean, that man could represent your promotion. That's all I'm saying.
So, Crisscross, since we're talking about food, let's go to the traditional wrestling places. What was your Waffle House go-to meal?
I love loaded hash browns, period. I don't have to have bacon. I don't have to have sausage. I don't have to have biscuits. Just throw some hash browns on a plate, load them down. I'm good.
I'm hungry.
Randy, I was fixing to say Randy's hungry. He's fixing to get ready to go eat somewhere or get something to eat.
I got chicken salad from Chicken Salad Chick. Not a sponsor. You could be in my refrigerator.
Awesome. Good deal. Randy, you have anything before we let Mr. Cross go?
No, man. Chris, I appreciate your time, buddy. And again, I feel like I'm part of the Sequatchie Valley family too. And I love to see people invested in staying home. And congratulations to what you do. And I wish you the best of luck. and I may come up there for some cheese fries real soon.
I
The
heard.
only thing you're a part of is a toilet when you got to take a crap every time your mouth opens from that
Hey,
diarrhea running out of it.
On mute for a minute, and don't put up his wrestling picture.
Knuckles with a comment of the night and it's one that I've used on multiple occasions myself. Enough space to put ads on me. So basically, Knuckles is saying he's a walking billboard, guys.
Hey, you know what? All of us are. I can't help Joseph is the only one that can get a beautiful woman to actually care about him. I don't know how he did that too.
I think I'm privileged enough, and it don't happen very often. I think I'm privileged enough to be the lightest weight person here at 240.
Yeah,
That's true.
Right, weight right there. I was 12 and weighed 240.
Those rookie numbers, you got to bump them numbers up, baby.
Yep. Hey, Chris,
You need to be visiting a bees.
send us information as the tournament comes down, as you get ready to crown your heavyweight champion. We'll be sure to run it on River City Media.
yeah, absolutely. I'll keep in touch for sure. I do appreciate the time with you guys on here, and like I said, it's all a learning experience, and I'm not afraid to learn. I'm not afraid to grow, and I'm not afraid to make Warpath, one of the best entertainment shows here in the Valley. So,
well, you did your first podcast. I won't say all podcast is like this. Joseph is fairly professional. Howie and I are just bums. We're wrestling fans. So
what a compliment from QB1 right there.
I've got a comment from Brick Waller as well. He's weighing in literally. I'm one of the heaviest at 355.
All right,
He
Brick,
could,
want to
he
go
could
to
tear up some bees.
look, they might win an eating contest, but I mean, they got to prove it in the ring.
Hey, that's what we could host. Bees' first ever eating contest, guys.
You know what? I'm in for it. We do it live right here on River City Media.
Joseph Hughes, Rabbit Beaver, anything before we let Mr. Cross go?
Chris, I want to wish you well coming up on your tournament. I hope that you crown the right person for that championship match. I hope it's one that starts with BLACK as the end of his name, the California Dream himself. But I don't run that business. I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you who's going to win or who's not. But I also want to tell you this, sir. If you're ever inside the Cleveland area, Chattanooga area, why don't you stop on by, say hi. We'll have you in the studio.
Absolutely. 100%.
I feel insulted. I've never been invited to the studio.
It's because you're a chump.
Well, there we go. It's all said.
Dollar Bill.
Dollar Bill's a chump, too. He's a chump with a contract.
Hey, listen, Dollar Bill blew himself up for the American Patriotic on 4th of July, and we're not sure he's still okay.
He's not okay. That man's never been okay.
I'm not talking.
He's running around with Bobby Slam. Are you kidding me? Does anything say okay about that?
Look, you're talking like mental stuff. We're talking physical now. He blew himself up. Howie, let's pray for Bobby Slam and Dollar Bill. That's all.
He's not the brightest crayon in the box. I mean, obviously, if you blow yourself up, you're doing something wrong. I mean, I can hand you a hand grenade and tell you, hey, you got to throw it. But unless you throw it, it's going to blow up.
Right.
Joseph, after all these food comments, the weights and all that, the best thing you can come up with is brightest crayon in the box. What about the sharpest knife in the drawer? We're talking about food.
Either.
Come on now.
He's not the best steak on the grill, baby. I mean, he's none of it.
Finally sticking with the references of the night as far as food references.
Joseph, Evan Golden would be disappointed in you right now.
Golden got filleted like a fish a couple weeks ago, if you guys didn't see it. And he's out of action for a little bit of time. I don't care if he's disappointed or not. I'm disappointed in him. Who does something stupid like that in the middle of the ring?
Yeah.
Chris Cross, thanks for joining us. Sorry you had to put up with all this stuff here at the end, but sometimes, you can only hold them. It's like a stallion racehorse. Sometimes you can only hold them back for so long, then all of a sudden you got to let them run. This is what happened the last 10 minutes of the show.
I have a locker room full of the same kind of people.
It's not the first time I've been called a stallion, Cheney.
He was not referring to you. You're more like an elephant with wings there.
He's stallion.
I was thinking more of a donkey, but that's all right.
Hey, before we leave, Joseph, plug Megs tomorrow night because we're
Oh,
taking
yes, absolutely. So before we get off, North Meigs Elementary School is going to be hosting NWA JCP. That's Friday, August 1st, 2025. You guys can be there or be square. The Thrillbilly Silas Mason is going to be there. BBJ is going to be there. You've got the territory people. The Outrunners are supposed to be there. Soda Pop Hendricks is going to be there. Izzy Jazz, the Texas champion, is going to be there. You've got so many people. Bullwhip Ballard is scheduled to be there. Beastman is going to be there. Carson Bartholomew Drake is scheduled to be there, and he's World League champion right now. Currently, he lost the NWA television champion last night on Roku. If you guys didn't watch that, so sorry about your loss there, Carson. You weren't the smartest one in that match, but God, they've got so much going on. And then there's a great match that's going to be taking place between Casey Kazana and Jeremiah Plunkett with none other than the Jack Vaughn as a special guest referee. You guys want to be there. North Meigs Elementary School, 22015 Highway 58 North in Decatur, Tennessee. Front row seats are going to be $20. Floor seats are $15. General admission are going to be $10. Doors open at 6 p.m. The bell time is going to be 7 p.m. And they will have some catering outside for you guys. Somebody's going to be catering that show so you can get your snacks and your goodies for them as well.
And AJ Canzana is challenging Alex Taylor of the Southern Six for the NWA Junior Championship.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. That was announced today.
And AJ has been on a crash diet for 17 days and hadn't had no beef, no Dunkin', or no calories.
I don't believe it.
You couldn't go 17 minutes without that, Randy.
I'm not AJ Kazana. I'm not a world.
As soon as we get off the show, he's going to be out there trying to find him some more stuff. He's got a box of donuts calling his name.
If I had to guess, he's probably got DoorDash lined up halfway down the street there.
Outside. Let's wrap this up.
It's fresh Krispy Kreme on his doorstep, guys.
Chris Cross, thanks for joining us, man. If there's anything we can do for you, let us know. Warpath Pro at Pikeville, beautiful downtown Pikeville, Tennessee.
Listen to
Go out and support them. I love your answer. Love what you're going to do with the school system. And if you do the tickets with the school system and all that, those little kids are going to go back up and say to their mom and daddy and say, hey, let's go to this. Let's go to this. So
yep,
it's going to be awesome. So, Chris, thanks for joining us. And
thank you, Chris.
QB1, Rabbit Beaver, I think I may see y'all tomorrow night. Not 100% sure yet. Going to try my best.
You're coming. It's going to be football season. You're coming.
I'm joining the cult with Michael Gabriel tomorrow night. So be there.
That's the only way he's going to get validation in this life is to be a part of a cult, guys.
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody take care. Go out and support the local wrestling, especially in Pikeville, Tennessee. Chris Cross, let us know if we can do anything. Thanks for joining us. So from all of us here at River City Media, it's still real to me. Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.